on a Wednesday, hump day, hottest show in these streets. We're talking your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Proud to have you all in here. Checking us out on today. We're bringing you the show, the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. And speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. Hit that subscribe button. Stop everything you're doing. Smash subscribe right now. Make sure you're having this be your platform, your channel, your space, your spot to talk all things Bama football. Also, be sure, hit that like button. Run those likes up. Give us a thumbs up on the show. Tap that like button one time. Trying to get this 50 likes out the gate, starting this right here. Appreciate you guys. All donations welcome and appreciated as well. That daily super chat go $100, $100 right there. That is the daily super chat go. And be sure to also hit that notification bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes to your Crimson Tide. And we got a lot to discuss, talk about on today, and we want to hear from you, the Alabama football fans. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number 2. Call in and let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358, and one more time, 205-448-1358. Well, John, let's get into right now the first topic of the conversation, that being, Coach Saban still trying to figure out the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator thing with Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding, both gone. But on this particular segment right here, we're focused on the offensive play caller role. And on last week, Alabama had a visitor coming across the country in Ryan Grubb from Washington. The OC for the Huskies comes to Tuscaloosa to interview, talk about with Coach Saban and Alabama officials the coaching job here for the Crimson Tide, the offensive coordinator vacancy. And when it comes from the Washington faithful, the idea was, well, Grubb was offered the job, he was presented the job right there, but was not necessarily offered the job. Saban saying, hey, we're trying to continue interviewing candidates, talking to different coaches, different people, but it went left, and Grubb decided to continue at Washington, where he had signed the 2-year extension through 2025. He would be making $2.2 million a year as an OC, so he remains at Washington. So, with the Huskies, did have Washington having the number 7 scoring offense in the country, the number 2 total offense in the country. So with Grubb choosing to remain here with the Huskies, Coach Saban doing that due diligence of taking every call, having every interview, having the patience here in terms of wanting to get the right guy, wanting to get the perfect guy, wanting to get the ideal person in Tuscaloosa that will fit what Alabama wants to do in terms of being explosive and also having that balance there and wanting to run the football whenever it wants to do that. So with Grubb out of the picture here, you still have home run viable candidates in the mix right now. And those home run names, you still look at guys like Jeff Lebby. He is still in the mix. Guy that's at Oklahoma right now. He has a footprint in the SEC. When you talk about what he did at Ole Miss 2020 and 2021 under Lane Kiffin with Matt Corral. Jeff Lebby is still in the mix. Joe Brady is still in the mix. I know he's the quarterback coach for the Buffalo Bills, but Brady's still in the mix. Going back to his lone season at LSU 2019 as the passing game coordinator, and the concepts he brought from the New Orleans Saints, from Sean Payton, from Drew Brees to the LSU Tigers. That was a big deal there. So Brady's still in the mix. Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, he is still in the mix. Played quarterback at Utah, coached at Utah to start off his career, has a footprint in this conference, whether it was at Mississippi State and Florida. And then you got this new guy of home, Alabama fans should keep their eye on this guy. Keep your eyes out for him. And that name is Shea Tierney. Shea Tierney, who is the quarterback coach for the New York Giants. And Tierney has followed Brian Daboll to his last coaching stops here. Tierney followed Daboll to Alabama, where Tierney was the offensive analyst for the Crimson Tide 2016 and 2017. So behind the scenes, helped Alabama to an SEC championship in 2016, and in 2017, helping the Crimson Tide to a college football playoff national championship. And then he follows Daboll to the Buffalo Bills, where he helps mentor Josh Allen to be an MVP candidate and career high numbers in terms of completions and passing yards and touchdowns and passer rating and quarterback rating and all of those different statistics right there. And then this past season, as the QB coach for the Giants, Tierney, helping out with Brian Daboll, improved, cleaned up, refined Daniel Jones. That was big. Because Daniel Jones, prior to this past season, a lot of people looked at him as a bust. Him being a first-round pick in the 2019 draft coming out of Duke. A lot of people looked at Daniel Jones as a complete miss, a complete bust. And what happened? Daboll, along with Tierney, got their hands on him. And look what he did this past season. Career high completion percentage, 67.2%. Career high passing yards, for 3,200 passing yards. Career high in quarterback rating. Career high in passer rating. He cut down his interceptions. Only had 5 picks this past season. Got the Giants to the playoffs, and the Giants won a playoff game. So, Shea Tierney works with developing quarterbacks, molding guys, builds off their strengths, cleans away the weaknesses, get guys to cut those turnovers and things of that nature down. What he did with elevating Josh Allen at Buffalo and what he did this past season in helping out with refining Daniel Jones, you get a guy like Shea Tierney in here, maybe he can help out with the developmental process of a Ty Simpson or a Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, however you want to say the two in order there. But Tierney is a name kind of keep your eye on based on what he's done in the NFL, and he's got some familiarity here at Alabama. But Coach Saban, like I said, doing the due diligence, not rushing things. And he doesn't have to rush things because, think about this. You already got your recruiting class at Alabama. You signed those guys in December anyway. You could bring in 28 names. You brought in your 28 names in this 20. You brought in your 28 names in December, the early signing period. 24 of those 28 names enrolled early. So you really don't have to have the offensive coordinator right now set in stone. You can take your time. Now, for Coach Saban, he would like to have the OC and DC in at least mid to late this month, mid to late February, because it'll at least give you a month for the coordinator to learn the concepts of your offense, learn the concepts of your defense, and then fit in the terminology and the word jargon to match the coach and put his own spin on it. He can do that as he continues to be around the players and be around the program. But you don't have to hire the guy right now. But at least by mid to late this month, get the guy in, have him learn your concepts, learn what he's going to be doing, and then with the terminology, the word jargon, and adding his own flavor to things, he'll grow into that. So Coach Saban trying to not have a misstep. He is doing the due diligence. He is taking this thing step by step, pace by pace. A lot of viable candidates out there, and he's trying to get the best one possible. So while Ryan Grubb doesn't go in, doesn't get that, even though Ryan Grubb chooses to stay at Washington, this is not a hit here against the Alabama football program. Coach Saban still knows there are guys out there I can get, and as long as I hit on a home run guy. That's all we need to happen here in Tuscaloosa. But we take our break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting you started. When we get back, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. It's Wednesday. We start February talking to you after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back into the action, rocking and rolling from the break on a Wednesday, getting you the hottest news in the streets here on your Crimson Tide. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man John Ivory in the production studio. Remember, hit that like button, run those likes up, tap the like button one time. We appreciate you guys for all that you do in supporting us here. Also, all donations welcome and appreciated. That daily super chat go $100, daily super chat go $100 right there. But before we get into your calls, 205-448-1358, number to call in, let your voice be heard here. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Well, John, the NFL itself has decided to end this uncalled for debate of who does Jalen Hurts belong to, Alabama or Oklahoma. The NFL posted a graphic that said they had Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts together, and it said, just a couple of Bama boys going to the Super Bowl. So the NFL calls Jalen Hurts for Bama. So the league has shut it down. The league calls Jalen Hurts for Bama. So there you go on that one. Also, some good news involving one Tua Tagovailoa. The former Alabama quarterback is out of concussion protocol. He's healthy, 100% healthy. He's met with several doctors, been evaluated by several doctors. They have all come back. He's 100% healthy. He is out of concussion protocol. And it's very good for Tua, especially with the Miami Dolphins brass, that organization and front office saying he will be the starting quarterback for 2023, the fall of next season. They believe in him. Prior to suffering concussions this past season, Tua was having an MVP season himself. Had over 3,000 passing yards, 3,548, 25 touchdown passes. So good news for Tua. He is out of concussion protocol. In terms of Jeremy Pruitt, I know a lot of you guys are talking about him in the chat. To me, I think he's still the guy for defensive coordinator. Right now, nothing is being said in terms of the NCAA. There's not a ruling that's been made yet. What I have gotten is this is past the SEC. Like Sankey, Pruitt's good by the SEC. Pruitt's good by the SEC. Pruitt's good by Greg Sankey. This is not an SEC ordeal. This is more so of an NCAA ordeal. But Pruitt is still the guy. Saban's going after. Saban is still pursuing. So once we get more information on Pruitt being locked in for the Crimson Tide, they will get that to you. I mean, to me, John, if there is a penalty handed down by the NCAA, if Alabama gets Pruitt, I think the penalty may end up being Pruitt would not be able to recruit for a year. And if that's the case, that's a slap on the wrist. I'll take that. I mean, if the penalty from the league is Pruitt goes to Bama, he can't recruit for a year, that's fine. You got several recruiters on staff. That's the reason why Austin Armstrong was hired from Southern Miss. And he's already on the recruiting trail. So you got Austin Armstrong who can recruit. You got Freddie Roach who can recruit. You got Robert Gillespie. You got Travaris Robinson. You got several recruiters on staff. Heck, I mean, Nick Saban's back on the plane recruiting and taking pictures with all of these kids. So if the penalty is Jeremy Pruitt cannot recruit for a year, that's fine. I don't care about that. Just have Pruitt fix this defense, coach these guys up, have them running through a wall, have them playing with their hair on fire. That's all I want. That's all I want. So we will see how the NCAA does this when the news comes out. But that's the latest of what I got here on one Jeremy Pruitt. But cool call topic here, folks. This is on former Alabama linebacker Demoy Kennedy, who came as a 4-star in the 2020 class out of Theodore High School in the Mobile area. Kennedy has committed to Colorado. He has transferred from Alabama and committed to the Colorado Buffaloes, teaming up with Coach Prime. Deion Sanders got him Demoy Kennedy. Wish Demoy the best. A young man who came in the same signing class as Bryce Young and Will Anderson. A lot of potential, just didn't get on the field. Unfortunately, just did not get on the field enough to make the plays and make the impact that he wanted to make. I know he suffered a knee injury early in the 2022 season, so hopefully Demoy goes out there to Colorado, balls out, ends up having a strong collegiate career. Just a very good young man, good kid, good glue guy, got a lot of talent. Just was not able to make it happen at Alabama, but hopefully he can make it happen there with the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime. But we take the break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, because when we return, could we have a Bama reunion for the Houston Texans? Think about that. We'll discuss it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back to the action from the break on the hottest show on the streets, breaking down your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Continue hitting that like button, smashing the like button one time, tapping that thumbs up right there on the channel, making this your show, network platform, channel space to talk Bama. Also, appreciate all the donations. All donations welcome and love right here. Thank you for all that you do. But, John, we look at this here, this conversation. The Houston Texans, the NFL is excited for the Texans. Alabama fans are very excited for the Texans because we could have a Bama reunion in Houston. Could very well have this. And the Texans on yesterday made DeMeco Ryans, former Alabama linebacker, Bama legend, its next head coach. Ryans played middle linebacker for the Tide from 2001 to 05, an All-American, Butkus Award winner, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, you name it, DeMeco Ryans won it during his time in Tuscaloosa. And so he worked his way up the coaching ranks, after his playing career with the Houston Texans. And we played for he played for Houston. He played for also one more team in the NFL, but he worked his way up the coaching ranks for the San Francisco 49ers, got to be the defensive coordinator the last 2 seasons. His defenses were top-notch in the NFL, and the Texans decided, you know what, let's bring the guy that we drafted in 2006 in the second round back home to be a head coach. And the Bessemer native inked a 6-year deal, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, to come home to Houston. And with this deal happening, and I'm excited for D'Amico, with this deal happening, the question becomes, does D'Amico in his first year as a head coach, in his first NFL draft, which will happen in April, he will be in the war room, the green room, for the first time as the head man for a draft. Will he have a Bama reunion and take Bryce Young? Will he do it? I mean, will he cause Bama Nation to go absolutely crazy by taking Bryce Young? Because Houston has the number 2 overall pick. The Bears had the number 1 overall pick, but the Bears decided to trade out the pick. So Houston's got the number 2 overall pick as it finished the year at 3-13-1. And I know they drafted a quarterback, recently in Davis Mills out of Stanford, but NFL teams, they draft quarterbacks all the time. I mean, they draft the quarterback, they say, hey, we probably whiffed on this guy, but take another quarterback. I mean, it happens. You got to get the quarterback right in today's NFL. You go back to the Arizona Cardinals when they drafted Josh Rosen, and then the very next year they drafted Kyler Murray. They just reset the clock like that. So when you look at Houston 3-13-1. Does D'Amico Ryans make this move and with his first pick take Bryce Young? Because if he does this, John Mechie's already in Houston, right, as the former Bama wide receiver. Mechie in 2021 caught 96 passes from Young for 1,142 yards and 8 touchdowns. Yes, I know Mechie's battling a treatable form of leukemia, but there are several reports he's doing better, he's doing stronger, he's looking good. It looks like he may be able to come back and play, next season. So with Mechie already in Houston, if you're D'Amico, do you take Bryce, pair Bryce with Mechie, and you, D'Amico, being a Bama guy, have this full-on Bama reunion? Because you know, fans, how you are when you see NFL teams with a bunch of Bama guys. Like you go all out getting those games on your TV packages. I mean, you as fans, you look at the Washington Commanders. You're like, man, with the Commanders, I get Deron Payne, I get Jonathan Allen, and I get Brian Robinson. I gotta watch the Commanders. You being a Bama fan, you look at the Jets. I get Quentin Williams and I get C.J. Mosley. I got to watch the Jets. You're being a Bama fan, you look at the Eagles. I get Jalen. I get Smitty. I get Landon Dickerson. I get Josh Jobe. I got to have the Eagles on TV. So when you get an NFL team that's got several Bama players on there, you're making a call to NFL Network and you're saying, hey, can I increase my package to get team so-and-so? Because they got a ton of Bama guys, and I'm trying to watch these guys every single Sunday, or how often that they're on the clicker. I'm trying to watch these guys. So if D'Amico gets Bryce, you're looking at Bryce, Mechie, and Christian Harris. So Houston is starting to build a little bit of have more Bama players on the roster. Now, for Bryce Young, he's still looked at as potentially the number 1 overall pick. He's still looked at as, well, it's not the number 1 overall pick, but Bryce Young is still potentially looked at as, still the number 1 overall pick because whoever Chicago traded the pick to, whoever Chicago traded the pick to is going to look at the quarterback also. So Young is still being looked at as the number 1 quarterback taken potentially in this draft. But I just feel like he may be a lot to the Texans just due to the fact that Houston could literally reset their franchise with brand new head coach, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, has played for this franchise, and then you get a generational talent as a quarterback in Bryce Young. And we all know, you get the coach right in the NFL, you get the quarterback right in the NFL, you can do some stuff. And especially in a division like the AFC South, where you've got the Titans who have hitched their wagon to Ryan Tannehill. I don't know why they did that. And they're reaping the benefits of that, the pain of that. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are rising now with Trevor Lawrence as its quarterback. And then you got the Indianapolis Colts that for the last 2 years, they've hitched their wagon to old stopgap quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan. And now they're going to really get a guy for the future. If you be in Houston, you take Bryce Young, D'Amico, you take Bryce Young, and you get you some receivers, some offensive linemen in this draft, bang, like you can restart Houston, and Houston could be that team in the AFC South. D'Amico, you could really do this. You could restart Houston, and the Texans can literally be that team in that division. So it's going to be really intriguing to see what he does his first draft as the head coach of Houston. But will D'Amico bring a Bama reunion to the Texans? We're going to see if this happens. But we're going to take our next break here on the show. When we get back, we'll return to the phone lines to grab your calls, your thoughts, having a dialogue with you, the fans, right after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, people. We're back into the action here from the break on a Wednesday. Hottest show on the streets. Getting this month of February started off correctly. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got shout out Ty Alexander with that $19.99 in the super chats right there. Helping us out on the show, dancing Stephen, getting down to business right there. He is loving that. Once again, all donations welcomed and appreciated. Continue hitting that like button, tapping that thumbs up right there, making this your place to talk Crimson Tide football. But we're 9 more likes to 100. Keep tapping that thumbs up. 9 likes to go. Hit that like button. Get this thing right here too. That 100 likes here. But we go to the phone lines to grab your call. It's the call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in and let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. We grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, my name's Sean Williams from Montgomery, Alabama.
Hey, Sean, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. I just first like to say, I've been watching your show a lot. Just really excited to be talking here, man. Honestly, I'm excited for NFL, man. I mean, we got all these quarterbacks coming in. We got Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson. Because if Jalen Milroe starts next year, I mean, I think he's going to go to the league. I think he'll go to the league. If he starts, that means that he's shown what Nick Saban wanted him to show. And then Ty Simpson, I think he got a year with him too. So honestly, I think it's just going to be a renaissance of all these Alabama QBs is going to be in the league. They might take over, man. Hey, Steve, we might take over, with these QBs, man. So I'm excited about that.
I mean, Sean, what's impressive is, remember when folks said Nick Saban can't produce a quarterback? Remember people said that? Yeah. And now he's got Jalen in the league, about to win a Super Bowl. You got Tua in the league. You got Mac Jones in the league. Like, I remember some years ago, folks was like, if you want to be a quarterback, don't go to Bama. But now, Jalen in the league, Tua in the league, Mac in the league, Bryce finna get drafted. Like, wow.
Exactly, man, exactly. And, I think they know now that all they have to do is just wait. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I'm afraid, saying, Ty Simpson's going to leave. He's not going to want to sit. I don't think that's true. You saw what happened with Mac. He sat back and he waited his turn, and now look at him now. I mean, he got a new coordinator and Bill O'Brien. I think that's going to show a lot when they got the new coordinator in. And I just think they're going to be rolling them out, because at first it was Oklahoma. They said, if you want to be a QB and go to league, go to Oklahoma. But now, man, I think it's Alabama. If you want to go be successful in the league, go on to Alabama. So I think they're going to see the renaissance, and I'm excited.
Absolutely. Appreciate Sean from Montgomery calling in, giving his thoughts on the show. Alabama's literally becoming NFLU now. If you want a quarterback, you can go to Alabama. If you want a running back, Alabama. Wide receiver, Alabama. Offensive lineman, Alabama. You want guys on defense, Alabama. If you want a tight end, Alabama. If you want a kicker, you can come to Alabama. Will Reichert's right here. But Reichert decided to give a fifth season to the Crimson Tide. And, of course, Bama Nation happy to see him give it that fifth season. But we're going to go to, before we get to our awesome call topic, Sean Dion Hamilton, former Alabama linebacker, two-time national champion, 2015 and 2017. He is at the Senior Bowl in Mobile for practices this week. The actual game will take place on Saturday at Whitney Hancock Stadium. And Sean Dion, who is now a defensive assistant, he's now on the coaching staff for the Detroit Lions under Dan Campbell. Sean Dion is coaching defensive backs at the Senior Bowl, and he just spoke very strongly about how he appreciates Nick Saban in all of the work, the effort, the little details it takes to be a coach in this sport. And Sean Dion talked about it. It's the ingredients of you got to be able to cook, you got to be able to have the right ingredients in the cake, bake the cake, and then present the cake. In terms of being a coach, there's so much that goes into doing that. And just paying his homage there for Coach Saban, or to Coach Saban, for preparing him, not just as a player, but in this avenue of becoming a coach. Saban's coaching demeanor and the way he went about things coaching Sean Dion, it has prepared the Montgomery native for this chapter of his football career in becoming a coach. And at some point, I would like to see SDH back at Alabama on this Crimson Tide staff as a coach. I would love to see that. Now, in what role could he serve? I don't know. I'm not sure. But you're seeing how Sean Dion, highly gifted, very intelligent, high football IQ, strong linebacker. I think he's one of the more underrated linebackers of the Saban era, in just my opinion. SDH, you go back to that 2016 team, what he had, like 64 tackles on that defense? What he had, like 9.5 tackles for loss, or 13 tackles for loss with 4 or 5.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. Like, Sean Dion had a big year. And if he didn't get hurt, he could have been a first-round pick if he didn't get hurt. Like, that's how special that cat was. So, I would like to see him at some point back at Alabama as a coach on staff. Just depends on when that happens. But appreciate J.D. Long with that $9.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate that donation coming from J.D. But our call topic here, John, Bama's got several players down there at the Senior Bowl performing well in practices this week, and hopefully they'll be able to get their shine on in the actual game. Those guys participating are the likes of Tyler Stain down there. Tyler Stain participating, Emil Ekiyor Jr. down there, Cameron Latu participating, DeMarco Helms down there, Byron Young down there, DJ Dale down there. Those 6 names participating in the Senior Bowl. Now, Byron Young really impressed the NFL scouts with his weigh-in, his wingspan and length longer than what people expected him to be measured out as. So if he's out there dominating these Senior Bowl practices, he performs well. Byron Young could possibly be a late first-round pick, and he may have a better pro career than a college career. Emil Ekiyor doing well down there in Mobile. He's showing versatility, displaying to scouts that not only can he be a guard, but he can also be a center. And he's more so a natural center than a guard. I always felt like Emil played out of his position his entire career at Alabama. When he came out of high school, that's Cathedral High School in Indianapolis, as a 4-star in that 2018 class, he actually came out as the top center prospect. So probably should have been playing there more so than guard, but it is what it is. He's showing the versatility down there at the Senior Bowl. Cameron Latu's looked good down there. Some good things from Tyler Steen down there. DeMarco Helms is putting up some good stuff down there as well. So hopefully these guys can continue to carve out good draft value for themselves in Mobile, competing there in the Reese's Senior Bowl. But we take our final break on the show, baby. Don't touch that dial, because upon our return, there is an intriguing name that Coach Saban might want to consider at DC if you couldn't get Pruitt. I think you can get Pruitt. I believe you're going to get Pruitt. But if you couldn't, there is an intriguing name Saban needs to consider. We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back to the action from the break on the hottest show on these streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man John Ivory in the production studio. Continue tapping that like button one time, showing that support. All donations welcomed and appreciated as well. And while you're checking us out, fans, our own John Ivory's got a poll in the chat. So interact with the poll. The poll question is, who would you take to be the starting quarterback for Alabama next season, Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe? Right now, the poll it's tight right now. Jalen Milroe is winning 51% to, now Ty Simpson's winning 51% to 49%. I mean, it's tight right now. Jalen Milroe's up at 1 point, and then Ty Simpson's up at 1 point. So it's a tight race between Milroe and Simpson, but interact with the poll right now. Who would you take to be the starting quarterback for Alabama? Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson? Poll is in the chat right now. Interact with which quarterback would you take? But as we get into the final discussion here, John, I know everybody wants to know, is it going to be Jeremy Pruitt for Alabama's DC? And right now, if I had to put my finger on it, I believe it will be Pruitt, regardless of how the NCAA may rule. I think it's going to end up being Jeremy Pruitt from what all accounts that I've been told, what I've been hearing. I think it's going to be Pruitt. But let's just say in the event, let's just play a hypothetical. let's just say in the event, let's not Pruitt, because you have hypotheticals in life. So in the event that it's not Pruitt, there is an intriguing name that if I'm Coach Saban, I would at least consider. I would give a call to, I would interview, I would pick his mind. That guy is none other than one Deshae Townsend. Deshae Townsend, who's in the NFL right now. He's with the Jacksonville Jaguars as a defensive backs coach. And this dude is a wealth of knowledge, a complete savant in terms of defense. Deshae Townsend has been all over the NFL in terms of a player, and he also a Bama standout, played DB at Bama. So a Bama standout, played DB at Bama, but in the NFL, he played everywhere in the secondary, played all 5 positions in the secondary, played corner, both corners, played star nickel, played money dime, played free safety, played strong safety. He played everywhere in the secondary. Do you know how hard that is to play everywhere in that defensive back 5, know your position and everybody else's position in the row that's playing with you? That's a hard thing to do. Deshae Townsend did it, and did it with ease in the NFL. And he played with some dudes. He played with Troy Polamalu. He played with guys like Jerome Bettis. I mean, he played with some freaks out there on the field, and coached by some legends on the field, and has a Super Bowl ring. Deshae Townsend is a Super Bowl champion. So you look at this here, played at Bama, stand out in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide, has a wealth of knowledge in the NFL, has played on several NFL teams, has a Super Bowl ring, played with a lot of NFL greats, was coached by NFL greats. And I understand he has not been a defensive coordinator before, and I get it. But when you have a guy that's got all of the NFL knowledge, that has played the game, that has won at the highest level, a Super Bowl champion, can relate to these young men in all facets of life, and can spit terminology, schemes, concepts, plays, breakdowns, and can show you how offenses manipulate and spit it back to you and be able to get it done. When you have a guy like that, you got to bring that type of guy in the room, and can motivate, can recruit, can motivate, can inspire, can provide energy, can do it all in that type of way. You gotta at least give that brother a phone call and give that brother an interview. I have him in the room. Pick his brain, pick his intellect, pick his mind, and just see, okay, can this be a fit? Can this be a fit? In the event that you couldn't get Pruitt, you gotta at least give Deshae Townsend a phone call. Bring this guy to Tuscaloosa, sit him down, and at least pick his brain and go, okay, is this the fit that we need here in terms of this defense? Because Coach Saban, like I mentioned in the first segment, taking his time. He's leaving no stone left unturned. He's not making any hasty move. Why? You've already got your 2023 recruiting class on campus. They're already here. So you can take your time in getting your OC and your DC. Alabama is at a crossroad right now. Every move that you've made, it's got to be a banger. You got to hit on them. Every move you make right now, it's got to be a guy, it's got to be an artist dropping a hit album. Where when you drop that hit album, over half your album, it's got to be those smash number 1 hit singles. Bang, 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 bang. It got to hit. They got to hit. So these next moves that Saban's making, they've got to hit, and they've got to hit hard in terms of you trying to get back into that college football playoff and get back to that run of championships. So these moves have got to be major moves. And if there's not a way, if the move of Pruitt, I don't think it falls through. I think you end up getting it. But if the move of Pruitt were to fall through the crack, then to me, getting this phone, getting Deshae Towson to Tuscaloosa, picking his brain, a guy that can reach these young men right where they are, has been where they've been at, has been where they're trying to go, has a Super Bowl ring to show for it, has a wealth of NFL knowledge, can spit things back to you in several different ways, played with NFL greats, coached by NFL greats, played at Alabama. This would be the guy. This would be the guy to pick up the phone, give a phone call to, and at least see, is this the fit that we need in Tuscaloosa? But hey, I mean, that Jay Towson, an intriguing name to look at. I still think you get Pruitt, but here's a name, my opinion, need to kind of look at to say, hey, a bit here that we could have in Tuscaloosa. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, conversation, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. Check this out. You can get this by accessing, you can get all the information by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. And you download the app from the iPhone App Store, the Rockin' Team Apple, Google Play Store if you have the Android phone. Now, for your audio needs, we got you covered here: iTunes or Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. There you go. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll try to be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Alabama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. But gotta shout out you guys, the outstanding fans of Bama football, for the calls, donations, likes, conversation, making this your show, your network platform, channel, and space to talk Bama. Gotta appreciate my man John Ivor in the production studio behind the scenes, hooking us up as he does always. Until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands, children. You guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, to not be bored there, getting that schoolwork done, still in the school week here. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself, you protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening to In My Own Words.